Hey, it's Jason Will at Impact Aging University Conference. I'm here with Scott, and where are we? We're at Port Orleans Brewery,
Yes, sir.
and you are the Brewmaster.
Yes, sir.
So I don't know if you know this, we're hosting a real estate conference.
Okay.
So there's going to be real estate agents from all over the country coming down here. So what we're trying to do is, for a lot of people, this will be their first time in New Orleans.
Oh, wow.
So we want to introduce them to just a wide array of things to do. And we know people are really into microbreweries right now, just,
That's for sure.
brewed beer. So thank you for having us.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for coming by.
And walk us through this process and how does this all work?
Sure. Well, in the very beginning, we receive malted barley from a malting facility, and we take that in, we weigh it out, we send it through a mill, which basically just crushes the grain. After we get a good crush on it, we'll add it to our mash tun, which is this vessel right next to us. And in there, we hydrate that crushed grain with water to begin an enzyme conversion process from starches to sugars. Sugars become the food for yeast later on that actually makes the beer. And there, after a period of time, we'll take that kind of a porridge, oatmeal-y kind of a texture of a soup, and we'll send it over to our lauter tun, which is over here. And the lauter tun essentially just extracts all that sugar, proteins, any other sort of flavor active compounds that we need for the final product, and we'll gather it over in our kettle over here, and that's where all the primary cooking and boiling happens. In there, we'll boil what we have wort, the sugar substance at that point in time, to sterilize the wort. We'll boil off some volatile chemicals that we don't want in the final product. That's where we add a lot of our hops for bittering and aroma and what have you. And after an hour and a half boil, we'll send it off over to our whirlpool over here. And the whirlpool is just like its namesake, spins around, collecting all that hop material, protein, whatever grain matter is left in there into the center, so we can siphon it off and get it into our fermenters, which are going to be out over here.
Wow.
Out in the fermenters, we have yeast waiting for that sugar water, and the yeast comes into play by fermentation. Carbon dioxide is being produced, alcohol is being produced, and it essentially turns into beer over there. And we allow it to age over there and send it off to packaging, essentially.
Okay, so you're not. It doesn't go from tank to can here at this location.
Oh no, it does.
It
Absolutely,
does.
yeah. We are a packaging microbrewery.
Wow.
Absolutely.
So start to finish, from literally tank to can.
Yeah.
How long is that process?
It really is brand dependent. It could be anywhere from 14 days. It could be anywhere to 45 days.
Because y'all are doing a wide array of flavors. Is that is that a technical term?
Yeah.
Flavors, Travi?
I like to say brands.
Brands. Sounds
Types.
better. Types.
Styles.
Styles. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big microbrewery connoisseur, so
You can tell.
whatever.
You can
I
tell.
usually say flavor, but whatever. So on average, though, it could take about how long? Just if you're just dealing with the Pilsner?
We'll say if you're lucky, 21 days.
That's interesting.
It could take longer though, like especially the high octane barley wines. You want us to let those sit around for a good solid year, let them mellow out. Lagers, they say 35 days. Some do less, some do more. It just really depends on what your capabilities are and what the final product is supposed to be.
One thing that's like a burning question I have is, because this is such a craze right now,
Right.
it's so popular. I mean, people are literally plan vacations around cities
Yeah,
that have a lot of
absolutely.
breweries and things. How do you make yours unique? With Port Orleans, how does that have its own distinct flavor?
Well, you start off with a flavor profile and what you would want to work with, and basically understand what your customer base is. The name of the game these days is to find a beer for your customer, not necessarily find a customer for your beer. And that was really the difficult thing right now, because there is a lot of good breweries out there right now. Competition is extremely fierce, and you just have to keep at it, keep trying them.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough town too. I mean, you've got to have the flavor right, whether you're open. A restaurant's not going to make it here unless they're really, really good.
Oh, absolutely,
So I
yeah.
would assume, people love to eat and drink in New Orleans, so you've got to be on point with your flavors,
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
with your brands,
Yes.
with your styles.
Styles.
Yeah. Can this make a certain amount of cases per minute or something, or how long does it take to
This
do
thing
it?
is capable of 50 cans a minute. So we can usually do about 100 cases in an hour and a half to 2 hours, just depending on how things are running.
And it does all the labeling too?
Yeah, that's what this guy is right over here. Normally for our main brands, we'll get the pre-shrink wrap labels, and then for the small runs, we'll get a short supply of labels for just special releases. Gives us an option to get a blank can, and then we're not committed to a truckload of shrink wraps, essentially.
One thing we didn't cover is that this is, what are you, a year and a half old?
We'll be 2 years in May.
2 years in May.
Yes.
So I'm assuming once you, like any small business, once you pass that first year, you kind of establish yourself, or does it take much longer for a brewery to get its name out there?
Well, it's relative. Our name is certainly out there, and I think right from the get-go, we had great exposure, especially in New Orleans. They were just incredibly thirsty for local products.
Right.
Second year, you definitely need to keep at it, stay relative, stay innovative. You're looking at your 5th year. If you hit your 5th year, that means you're there to stay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, are y'all distributing just to the greater New Orleans area right now, or is it way beyond that?
New Orleans area is definitely our bread and butter. We're heavy up in the North Shore area, Mandeville, Madisonville, Hammond, and we are dabbling into Mississippi right now.
Oh, awesome. That's great. So what's the demand right now? What do y'all have to crank out like a week or a month in terms of product?
It ebbs and flows. I mean, Mardi Gras was just now, so that was cray-cray. We haven't even been able to sit down and see how much we actually put out in the last 2 weeks. Right now we're on track to do probably about 6,000 to 7,000 barrels, I believe.
Wow.
But yeah, it ebbs and flows, and it depends on what brands are flying. Because we're not going to be doing a double chocolate stout in July, right? So that's one of the things.
It was a busy Mardi Gras season.
Busy Mardi Gras.
But when we came in here, I was like, man, this is like a big chemistry lab, and we're actually in the lab in the brewery warehouse. So what goes on back here? Are y'all designing, making sure everything tastes
right?
good?
So this is where we do our quality control. We'll check for pH. We'll check for the sugar content of beer that's in process of fermentation. We'll check the oxygen content of our packaged good, because oxygen destroys your beer. So you want to get that down as low as possible. Constantly monitor it, and we'll do cell counts, because there's pitching rates for each types of beer. You want to hit a certain amount of yeast cells every time you pitch, and just a little bit of microbial. It's a good start for us.
What about experimentation with new flavors? Are y'all pretty set with the offering you have right now, or do y'all constantly kind of innovate?
Yeah, we're constantly innovating. That is the name of the game these days. If you don't keep up, you fall behind. So,
really?
Yeah. One way or another, you got to keep it pumping out. And that makes it fun. Nobody wants to make the same thing every day.
Yeah. Was there any science behind that creative process? I mean, are you just thinking, let's pair this, let's see if this goes together? I mean, how does all that work?
That's where the artistic freedom comes into play.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah. I mean, and knowing what your audience is out there really helps a lot.
Yeah. And here in New Orleans, you got seasons, and maybe it's pairings with food, maybe seafood. Like, what's the best beer to go with with some crawfish?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is the name of the game too. Yeah. Trying to keep up with that and finding a good restaurant to work with and create those dishes and pairings.
Yeah, because it's about. I mean, this is you two are in a relationship business. Mm-hmm. So you got to develop relationships with people that have been selling their traditional beers forever. Mm-hmm. And you've got to add some creativity, a little bit of flavor, a little bit of style to their beer menu.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm picking this craft beer stuff up pretty well. I'll leave you my card in case you need me to come back.
Yeah, we could always use somebody on the packaging floor.
Well, Scott, thank you so much for your time.
Jason.
We're excited to help give you a little bit of name recognition. We're from Alabama, so...
Oh, nice. Okay. Welcome in town.
Yeah, we appreciate the hospitality.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.